Black Friday 2024. A year that'll go down in infamy for us physical media collectors. Mainly because Best Buy, Walmart, Target bowed out and they did not sell physical media in stores for Black Friday deals and those classic shippers and everything that we've all come to know and love and anticipate. Everything is online. Amazon, of course, and various other websites, boutique labels, at least we can count on them. The smaller distributors are nice, the Shout Factories, the Arrows, the Criterions. Barnes & Noble came in clutch for me, like anybody else right now that just partook in the Criterion Collection sale. That's always great. And my local video store, out of nowhere, over a decade for sure, I've been shopping there. And they've never had a Black Friday sale up until this year. And I'll put a little bit of footage up here for y'all. I never saw this before. This has never happened. I don't know what prompted them to do this sale, but 30% off all their used items in store was amazing. And I found some really good deals. And I really hope they will keep doing that because they're some of the last places standing for me personally to buy physical media in my city if I want to go to a store. And I hope they continue it. I feel like it was a very huge success in my opinion because I saw a lot of people. The places were packed. They even had 10% off like collectible items and things like that. So I found some amazing things. And it warms my heart that so many people, at least on my FYP on TikTok and various other YouTube channels that I still follow here or there, everyone is just saying fuck you to streaming and they are buying physical media again, thrifting, going out to various video stores that they have. I've seen a few people that go to that place Bull Moose or Second and Charles. I am envious of you all. Those places look awesome. But you never know where you can find deals. It may not be video stores. It could be flea markets. It could be Facebook Marketplace. It could be anywhere. That's why I'm saying Black Friday has almost become kind of meaningless. Especially because corporate people think that let's make it Black Friday week. Let's make it, fuck it. Let's just make it Black Friday for a whole month. Now, you know what? Let's just do Black Friday in July. It's stupid. There's just too many deals to be had all year round. You can always find something amazing when you maybe even least expect it. So Black Friday, it has dwindled down to basically nothing for a lot of physical media collectors, unless you're just fine shopping online only. But I will discuss that further in regards to some of the media that I got online, because there's always the horror stories of shipping. Speaking for myself, but I'm grateful to even have this very first world problem. I know there's far heavier scenarios going in to the new year and a slew of other things. And for me personally, going through grief and life, but movies make me happy. Movies have always given me joy and escapism in some of my darkest days. And that's why I like to hold them in my hands. I like to just have them to watch them whenever I want, to have them here on my shelf. And I'm grateful that so many people are kind of relearning that lesson, that streaming services, they're always just going to be very fickle when it comes to having certain titles available. And it's even worse when those titles are streaming only and have never been released to physical media of any kind. So that's my rant for today's video, and thank you for listening if you did. I just feel like I wanted to give my 2 cents about Black Friday and the randomness that it is these days, and a lot of other things. It's just, there's a lot. I'm sorry to have gone in a bunch of tangents, but that's just how I felt. If you stuck with me this far, thank you. Now I would like to showcase all the cool deals that I've mentioned already. There's just a little bit of everything. First up, not necessarily Black Friday, but, Goodwill is always the classic go-to to thrift, and it's not the best place. They can get very, they can get a little greedy. We'll just say it like that with their pricing these days. But for both of these, I got them on on a 50% off day sale that they have sometimes, and so I got both of these titles for $3 and change, so that's not too bad. A nostalgic favorite Fantastic Four. I have not seen this in quite some time, but I remember growing up with this movie. I enjoyed it. It's very campy, and it was fun to see Chris Evans return as the Human Torch again, and Deadpool and Wolverine. So that was a fun callback. I remember this being fun. I know it's not pure cinema or anything like that, and I have no idea how next year's Fantastic Four in the MCU will do. I'm hoping it's good. It looks promising. But if that still somehow does not do well, at least we have the campy fun of Fantastic Four from the 2000s. And the last Goodwill title, I grabbed the M. Night Shyamalan film Lady in the Water. Never seen it, but I heard it's like a nice little like fairy tale type flick. I haven't heard too much on it. I don't ever see it in the wild, which is why I picked it up. I was just like, well, this is one of the few M. Night movies that I haven't seen. So, and it's got Paul Giamatti, Bryce Dallas Howard. I'll give it a shot. Next up, I will go with the quick footage that I showed you all of that local video store. That was one of 4 that I went to, and I found all of these across different locations. Got all these prices were 30% off, so that's a damn good deal. Finally found this one, Me, Myself, and Irene. While it's not Jim Carrey's best, it's definitely an interesting little movie with some slapstick. It's got some heart in there too. The focus on mental health is an interesting take as well. Some of it kind of believable, some of it not so much. It's an R-rated comedy from the 2000s, so from the Farrelly brothers. So take it with a grain of salt, and it's an over-the-top guilty pleasure, I guess. And continuing on with the Fantastic Four films, I got Rise of the Silver Surfer. And again, yeah, I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember enjoying this all right. I look forward to revisiting it again as well. I remember watching both the Amazing Spider-Man movies in theaters. The first one I hated because it was just a retread, a very bland retread of the Spider-Man trilogy before it from Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. However, there were nice little bits and pieces that I enjoyed enough to warrant my purchase of this. But of course, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, their chemistry was fantastic in these movies. I can appreciate that this film is still kind of canon in a way, and even though if it went nowhere with all the plotted spin-offs and all these other things that we're going to try to do, it's a bloated mess, but I remember not hating it. I think I definitely want to give it a rewatch. Ghostbusters Afterlife. We got the Green Hornet 3D. I like this cover. I remember enjoying this in theaters, and I hope it holds up a little bit. It probably won't. The last of the 30% off deals that I got from my local video store, Avengers Infinity War. I got Avengers Endgame not too long ago from Goodwill, of all things. I've been finding 4K titles at Goodwill, so that's amazing. But I was just like, well, I gotta complete my set, so 30% off, hell yeah. And a couple more titles that I found, but they were outside of the Black Friday sale, but still the same video store. They must have restocked after the fact, because they were not there when I was there on Black Friday. But anyway, if you love The Lonely Island, Hot Rod is a must-watch. Just a funny, over-the-top little movie. If you love the adventures of Nick Frost or Simon Pegg in various movies, is a Cuban Fury. And I love this. It comes with art cards and all this stuff. Love this cover. It's very shiny. It is like a dance movie. It's funny. It's genuinely funny. It's heartfelt. It's got some legitimately good dancing in there. So, yeah, it's definitely outside of my wheelhouse. I don't know shit about dancing, but there's a good amount of fun moments in this. There's like great chemistry amongst the cast. And not a lot of people talk about this one. And while that was the last of the films that I bought from my local video store, as I mentioned, they did have a 10% off, like other newer collectible items and everything, because they also have action figures, just all these movie memorabilia things, and a ton of Funko Pops. And they always seem to have the ones I'm looking for. I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Old school Yu-Gi-Oh, not the new stuff. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But I love the classic characters, the classic monsters, and I had to own these. I always use spellcasters when I would play, so I have to add these to my collection. Magician of Black Chaos, really amazing sculpt on this, but this one in particular here, I'm surprised they even made this one. Magician's Valkyria. I know she's a fan favorite, but I don't know how many people really know of her that much these days. Everybody knows like Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl, and even kind of, Magician of Black Chaos. But her, I'm surprised. But very well designed. A lot going on in there, but man, just a really, really well designed pop. Happy to have him in my collection. Alrighty, we're going to dive into the online orders that I got. And first up is an underrated Christmas movie, and that is Nothing Like the Holidays. It's just nice to see all Latino cast. I mean, a lot of great people in this flick. I wanted to own it just to add to my small little Christmas movie collection. Next up is one of the best movies of the year for me in terms of horror comedy. I love horror comedy. That is the side of the horror genre that I partake in quite a bit when I can. That is Lisa Frankenstein. However, as I mentioned earlier, the horror stories you get. This was very mint when I saw it on their photos, and sadly, they sent it in an oversized envelope. And sadly, it got dings all around and a couple creases. So that makes me sad as a slipcover collector. But I'm happy to own it. I got it for a very good price. And it's a little hard to come by. If I ever find a better condition cover, I'll buy it one day. But for now, happy to have it in my collection. I look forward to rewatching it. And another couple horror stories. But again, these came in better shape, I guess. Were a couple box set and a steelbook. First up was Beetlejuice. Got this from Groove.com. And normally they like it's one of those things where those online companies like Groove.com, they always ship pretty quickly, which was great. But then they shipped this in just a small box with one little sheet of bubble wrap just floating right on top. You can't make this stuff up, but it's kind of, I'm just like, you know what? It came in minty condition. There's no dents or dings from what I could tell. So, it's all good, Groove.com. That just made me laugh. That kind of stuff makes me laugh. But you know what? I'm happy. This is one of my favorites of the year as well. I love Tim Burton films. I love Michael Keaton as this character. I feel that just with all this cast is just, everybody had a moment to shine. It's a lot going on in this film, but I've seen it twice in theaters. This could be my favorite movie of 2024. I don't know. I'm making a list on Letterboxd. I'm hoping to get that done soon. But there's still a few more movies I want to see. So only time will tell. Yeah. And the last of my online finds, and that is the underrated gothic romance that is Crimson Peak from Guillermo del Toro. This is a beautiful box set. The 4K edition. This edition has been a pain in my side to find at a good price. Luckily, I got this for $40 and shipping. But people with these Arrow box sets like this, and any special edition really, man, it's always like $100 every damn time. Steelbooks, $100. Everything. I know everything's going up in price and all the things going on in the world, but fuck, man. Everything's $100 for some reason. That's like the I don't know, like those Deadpool steelbooks. If I ever find it at retail pricing, like around 30 or 40, maybe I'll purchase one of them. But, that's too rich for me. $40 or so is my limit for one movie. That's as far as I can go. Anything higher, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever dollars people are paying for certain steelbooks or box sets. If it's got multiple movies, maybe, but man, more power to you if you're spending $100+ on just a singular movie. So, yeah. And we are down to the nitty gritty. Barnes & Noble. They have been coming in the clutch as of late. I found various titles this whole year. I don't go often, but when I do, when they have their Criterion sales or when they have certain catalog titles like Scream Factory and things like that, or just other random titles that even Best Buy wasn't really carrying up until last year, like, it was nice to know that Barnes & Noble was there still. And they still are. And they're coming in really good with a lot of these pricing situations, because I'm like, a lot of people are like, oh man, they're really overpriced. And that's true. They always have their pricing around like $40 to $50 a title if it's brand new, especially if it's a 4K. But of course, the sales pop up, and that's when everybody should jump on things. However, I recommend, because twice this year, so I guess that means I've been going enough, they have their free rewards program. So you collect little points or whatever, like any other store that has those like type of point things. And I got like two $5 coupons on top of a gift card I had recently for this particular titles that I bought. So both of these titles came out to $45, which is amazing for brand new everything, and Criterion and Screen Factory. That's amazing in my opinion. If you find them cheaper, more power to you. If you're that hardcore of a deal finder. But I got The Shape of Water, a brand new release. This is an amazing cover painted by the artist. I'm blanking on the artist right now, but I follow them. And just beautiful artwork. I love the original cover, but something about this cover was just like, yep, this looks nice. I don't know if it's a new transfer or anything, though, compared to the 4K that was already released. But you just can't go wrong with Criterion. And I love the artwork, and I'm pretty sure there's a nice little booklet inside. I see it right here, and I'm sure it's amazing. So I can't wait to revisit this one. And last but certainly not least, Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. This is one of those nail-biting thrillers. It gets so ridiculous. It's so campy. I remember watching it in theaters. It's a lot of fun. This is the new 4K from Screen Factory. I love the slipcover. It does come with the original and unrated cuts. I really love talking about physical media. I'm grateful to be a part of this random side of the internet that has embraced physical media more and more. But thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to talk about all these movies. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on any of them that you may have enjoyed, or what you look forward to out of Black Friday in the future. It'll be an interesting thing to think about for a lot of physical media situations and stores selling them or not. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about it. So anyways, thank you for watching. Take care and be kind.